Hey everybody, how's it going? Chris Hernandez here, back with another one. In today's video, what I'm going to cover specifically is the time it takes for you to see success. Let's say when you're first starting your ad agency, right? Brand new, haven't had any clients yet, haven't had any meetings yet. What sort of the time frame you can expect to get some results as quick as possible? So, if you don't know who I am, I run my own digital ad agency. We specifically focus on helping ecom brands, roughly doing 5 to 10K. We focus on helping them scale to 50K, at times even 100K per month using paid traffic, right? And so I've been in the agency game for about a year now. I've seen some success. I am still growing, and I'm still on track to get my first 10K month mark. That is the goal I'm working on right now. And just from my experience alone, right? The process it takes for you to sign your first client. I know when I got started, I brought on my first client roughly like a month in after starting. Didn't get him results, and I remember roughly after that, 3 months later, got another client. Was able to help them scale to 100K per month, and then after that, 3 months later, brought on another client, and then now I'm in the process of bringing on another client. So, for me personally, the problems I've been facing regarding clients is that I can bring clients on. It's just getting them to stay for 3 months minimum, getting them to sign that retainer deal. So it's something I've been focused on. So now I've been what I've done to combat that and to ultimately get my client retention higher is I've done something different. I've lowered the service fee price, and then I have like a percentage of return on ad spend deal. And then I do like a minimum 6 months. So it's something I'm pushing for to get that client retention on longer. But with that being said, I think what a lot of people who get into the agency game, usually when they invest into a course and they invest into mentorship, the reason why a lot of people get into the agency game is because they see the results. They see that, oh, you can easily scale to 10K per month without putting up any money. You can start with zero and get to 10K literally. So a lot of people who join the agency game fall into the trap of the results, of going there for the results specifically, right? And if we just take a step back and look at the reality of what the agency game consists of, and the consistency and the amount of work and effort that has to go into it, when people get into the agency game for the wrong reason, that's where you see them tend to quit after like the first month, after 3 months, after 6 months, right? So the agency game is somewhat difficult. So the task and the systems and processes to implement is very simple. Anybody can get started. It's super simple. The thing is, though, with simplicity comes the reason why it's somewhat hard and complex is because you don't control when you sign a client. You don't control when you bring on a client, and you don't control what that time frame looks like for you, right? That's why it's different from individual to individual, right? You have clients who, when they first get started, they bring on 2 to 3 clients in their first month, and bam, they're already at 10K. And you also have some stories from clients who put in 6 months of work of just prospecting every single day. They don't get results until after that 6th month. So the scale of it varies. You have some outliers, but generally I say you can get a client, you can bring on 2 to 3 clients in less than 6 months if you do the things right. And so how do you do that? Well, when it comes to the agency, you have like 3 moving components, 3 pillars that you really need to lock in on before you can even get a client. And that is, A, you need to have a platform to where you can build authority on. Could be LinkedIn, could be Facebook, could be YouTube. Overall, just a platform where you can post content and bring a lot of value to build up authority, to build up your audience. That's the first step. The second step is you need a team to deliver the results for your client. And you need to understand what niche you're in. You have to be really niche specific, right? And then with that being said, having a solid team that has done the work before and can get your client results is huge. Because if you don't have a team that can't get your client results, then what's the point of even having a team? What's the point of the client even hiring you on as an ad agency if you can't even deliver results, right? And then the third step is ultimately having the ability to close deals on a sales call, right? And I believe like sales in itself is just one other component that has to take time, and you have to develop that sort of skill to have a conversation with somebody, but ultimately having a meaningful conversation that allows you to persuade them into closing the deal, right? And there's different methods of approaching selling, right? the way I approach sales is simply by conversation and by asking questions, right? When I'm on a sales call, by no means am I just there to conversate, right? When I'm on a sales call, I have a series of questions I have mentally laid out in my head, and I'm going question by question, but also understanding the answers the client is giving me, right? Because on a surface level, a client can give you these are sort of known as like subconscious answers, to where, let's say you're at a bar, whatever, somebody says, "Hey, how are you doing?" Ultimately, we're programmed just to agree with, like, "Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing," even though if you're not doing good, it's just like an automatic trigger response that we say when we get hit with like common questions, right? So in that instance, when it comes to the sales side, and you're asking questions specific regarding like where the business is at, where can they get to, they may give you a very surface level question to like ultimately what is your problem, why are you having trouble scaling your business, and they get you with the surface level, "Oh, I can't run ads," or whatever. It's your job to really like go in deeper and ask why do they feel like that. You have to go deeper on the responses, so then you can break that surface level boundary, and then go deeper into finding the real cause of why they're struggling. And then once you can tap into that, you can then, when it's time to finally give your offer, after you give the offer, you can relate back to say, "Hey, look, you've told me you've been in this spot, you've been struggling for this amount of time, and you've tried multiple solutions, it didn't work. How come you feel this type of way here?" Or he's like, when you give them your offer, and they have some sort of they have like objective handling questions, or they're just really not understanding your offer, you can go back to their responses. You can use their responses against themselves. So ultimately, that's the way I approach sales. And in itself, like I said, sales is in its own bracket, because it takes time. For me, I didn't close a deal until like after I took 10 sales calls. So after 10 sales calls, now I was able to now hop on any sales call with confidence, understand the framework, understand the approach, and understand like the positioning to the way I ask certain questions, and overall how to get like similar results in certain areas, right? So I think the best way to approach this, if you're new, or if you want to get started into the ad agency game, is to simply just go in and really put your head down and focus on what you can control. Focus on the day-to-day actions, focus on your routine, focus on the technical, and really detach from the ultimate result, right? Because if you detach from the result and just focus on the day-to-day actions, the money's going to come in second nature. If you just put your priority on, how can I provide my client with the best experience possible? How can I build my team? How can I build a system to where results are almost automated? How can I have more confidence when it comes to selling? How can I increase my closing rate? You got to ask yourself these certain questions. And ultimately, once you have solutions for all those questions, you'd be in a good spot to where 10K isn't so hard. And for me personally, right, what I'm struggling with is that I just need more volume. I need more sales calls. That's really all I need to get to 10K, because I have the team, I have the system, we've gotten results, and you could do something similar as well. So that is just my last piece of advice. If you were to get started right now, I'd say go in with no intention of hitting a certain number in a certain time period. I say just go in, lock in on the things you can control, focus on the things you can control, and focus on improving the things you can control, and just be consistent day to day, right? Because let's say if you take consistent action for 6 months, you would have already signed at least a client, and you'll be in a better position as an entrepreneur because you've learned for 6 months straight. So other than that, that's really all I have for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this content. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, and then more content coming soon. If you want me to cover a specific topic, just drop that topic in the comment section below. And then other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed.